the talk of the town.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Week 2 draft. I'm Savannah Collins, joined by Odyssey Sims, and we are 1 week finished in AU basketball. Janae, Week 1, what do you think?
Intense, entertaining, and really it's all about AU. All down my timeline, that's all I've been seeing is just fans really like, oh my gosh, this league is crazy and so great. I think Week 1 really set the precedence for how the rest of the season will be, just the craziness, the intensity, how serious these players are taking it. It was just great. I couldn't get enough. Like, I didn't have to be on site, and I wanted to be on site. It was just so great to see and be a part of.
Yeah, I'm with you. And to start off the week with a 3-0 team just, I think, makes it even more exciting all weekend leading up to that purple and gold and orange matchup. That was going to be the best game of the weekend and was. It absolutely delivered. And then seeing Team Gray finish out the week perfect. I mean, that's so hard to do, I think, at any point in the season. And we kind of talked about it last draft. You know, once those teams were put together, we were like, okay, Team Gray looks really good. Like,
really good.
We're just going to let her get all those crazy picks at the beginning. And it paid off. We saw that guard play. We saw how they gelled. And they were super special teams. So to kind of put things into perspective for fans about the leaderboard and how we got here with these 4 captains, the biggest impact was those win points. It's why Team Gray is completely split up. So you had a 3-0 team who won 8 quarters for 1,020 win points on the week. It was basically a lock that most of them would be captains. But Odyssey Sims was not going to be denied. They went 2-1, won 6 quarters, 720 win points, and her personal performances, I felt like, were such a big impact in her staying in the top 4.
For sure. A 33-point game.
Yeah.
You tweeted it out last game. She set the record for assists and a half, like 10 assists.
10.
She was on fire. She looked so good. And just outside of her own game, you could tell as a captain that she's been here before. The way she was talking to her team, the subbing adjustments, the adjustments she made in game. Odyssey's that AU girl. She is.
No, she really is. And I thought that was neat about Week 1 because for me, she was one of the most anticipated returners because of how her season finished last year, being a captain every single week. And then seeing her step in and go, yes, I can have those games where I'm going to put up 33 points. But at the same time, after Week 1, her most lucrative stat point category was assists. So I think that plays into the conversation of, like, why does Odyssey win? This season, it's because she can dish great passes and set her team up to be successful. And today she's going to be the number 1 pick. Starting in purple. It's kind of shifted her draft to where she can start things off. I feel like I know her number 1 pick, if I had to guess.
Yep, and it's in. It is in. Okay. You already know it is Kirsten Bell. Easy pick for Odyssey. They are a tag team like no other. They get each other. They know each other's spots on the floors, what they want, what they like. I think that was a no-brainer for her.
Yeah, the AU Twitter account tweeted out that they have a Bluetooth connection, which is so true. There were so many great times that she set KB up, especially on those, like, some nice backdoor cuts to the basket. Like, they looked good together. At this point, they have been together week after week, dating back to last season. We're starting to see some of these other first-round picks come in. Team Cloud, Natasha Cloud starting off with a Duke Bulgak. That doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm a Duke fan.
Yes. Okay, I think the thing that would get me about her this week is, you know, especially in night 3, her getting the defensive assignment of Kalani Brown. She was busting it in the paint to try and shut her down. Like, she came in clutch. If you had to say there's a defender that helped them win that game, it was a Duke. Then I love that she'll just, like, pull up from 3 just at any given time.
Pull up from 3. She had a play where she was at the top of the key. Took it off the dribble, spin move to the rack. Like, what?
Yeah.
Girl, stop playing.
Yeah. I know Cheryl Swoops had said it on the broadcast. Like, she should be on somebody's training camp roster. I hope this is the exposure that she needs. Being the number 1 pick speaks volumes
for
Team Cloud. Tiffany Mitchell making her first time as a captain, her debut, starting things off with Sid Colton.
Mm-hmm.
This pick kind of surprises me a little bit, though, based on the minutes that she got last week.
Yeah.
But they did play together, so you don't necessarily know how tight that connection is after those games.
And then Team Grace, she gets 2 picks. So she has chosen Emily Inkster, which is not a surprise. Emily showed out.
Yeah.
Defensively, she was great. Great rebounding. That's not a surprise to me. She was what, 5th on the leaderboard this week?
She was up there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ray Burrell doesn't surprise me at all for her pick at all. No.
Right. Yeah. I thought Ray was somebody who there would be moments where I could see her really shine.
Mm-hmm.
And then others, and I think maybe some of it was a rotation that Team Sims was running where, you know, you kind of lose her for a little bit of time. But Emily Inkster, to me, huge pick. She led the league in blocks with 11. 11 blocks in 3 games is crazy.
Yeah.
20 boards. I think Alicia Gray made a good choice in that. I'm getting so used to Odyssey not being the gold team captain. Like I with that. I'm like, no, it's Leash now.
Right. Okay. Tiffany Mitchell. I like this pick with Tiana Mildred. I really do. Tiana showed she can be an inside-out player. She hit a couple threes in a game. Was really effective on the boards. Really effective at the rim. I think that's a smart pick for Tiffany to have.
Okay, seeing Sid now, Tiana, I think she's trying to keep some of that core together. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm thinking back to it, because I was like, okay, I'm trying to think of what's the reasoning in these number 1 picks.
Yeah.
Tiffany with Sid, she's being able to set up her point guard, so she doesn't have to run that position. And then the other thing she said in a post-game interview, she was like, this team has so many veterans that it's so comfortable. Like, we're not guessing. We know each other's roles. So now Sid, Tiana, I'm like, okay, Tiff, I think I see what you're doing here.
Yeah. Smart. She's trying to keep that orange for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Natasha has picked Lexi Hull, who I think you should talk about because I think your tweet hit it on the head of her being a MVP for 2 games, even though she did not win those games. It speaks to what she did out on the court, but I think you should speak to that.
Okay, for fans that like maybe you're just tuning into AU this year, like that just doesn't happen. Your team doesn't lose and you get MVP 1. That's just not a thing at AU. In basketball, in softball, in volleyball, lacrosse, like that is so rare. Lexi did it not once, but twice. And man, I knew that her draft stock was going to be so high this week, kind of looking into her stats. She's 3rd overall in stat points. And then some more perspective. So her team went 0-3 and then didn't really pick up a ton of quarter wins. But Lexi's still 14th on the leaderboard. That's how well she performed in week 1. And then like overall, she's the 4th top scorer. So seeing Tosh, Adut, and Lexi together in these first 3 picks, like this team's going to come out and score more than anything. Sure. And now Lexi's not going to be in that captain role, which I think maybe she'll be able to relax a little bit and just be that aggressive scorer versus trying to manage a team and subs and things like that. I love this comment from Willie G. Ramirez. He said, Lexi is going to eat this week. Yeah, she is. I think so too.
Okay, Odyssey. I think she liked what she saw with Zaya and LA from when they were on Team Mitchell together. They had that Gamecock connection going. Zaya really stepped it up this last game. The first 2 games, I was like, okay, I see what she's trying to do. She was taking it in, getting the looks that she wanted, just not finishing. And Sunday, she was just like, I'm putting it on the floor, and then I'm going to put it in the bucket. So she really did her big one. And LA was just everywhere on the floor again. She had flashes of greatness. She's someone that could potentially bring the ball up. There was a couple of times I was like, okay, LA, like get the rebound and go. All right, that's your game. But I think that's smart. I think Odyssey's trying to get up and down like Team Mitchell did. So I think those are 2 smart picks for her.
Interesting about Aladim, you talked about her a lot from scrimmages to now. And I feel like I've had a hard time, like, what is her game? Like, how would you define it? And on broadcast, they called LA a Swiss Army knife. And I was like, that's her. Also, Team Sims keeping up the roster from last week right now.
Right.
I mean, that's, so far, like being able to keep some of this core together with Odyssey and Kirsten, and then Zaya and LA, like they've got some familiarity there. Team Cloud drafting Lexi Brown. I feel like Tosh and Lexi have played together a lot in previous seasons. Man, I like this guard play so far.
Offensive juggernauts. I like it. Good shooting. Yeah, I like that.
I also think Lexi thrives in the same style offenses as Tosh, like running half court sets, playing strong defense, translating that to offense. Like those are two people that I really do enjoy playing together in this league.
Right.
Because, in the W, they're always up against each other. But in AU, that's one of my favorite combos.
Yes, for sure.
So here's who's left by position. Taking a look, a lot of guards left, a lot of forwards left. Why is Kalani Brown still on the board?
Okay, because you literally just took it out of my mouth. I was, okay, it looks like she just, there it is.
All right, fine.
I like it. Okay, we did skip a pick. Tiffany did select Grace, which I think, again, is smart. She has her point guard. She does not want to run that point. She wants to be that forward that she's used to and it thrives at. So I think that's smart to pick up Grace.
Yeah, I liked Grace this week a lot. I liked how you could see flashes of how creative she is, just like as a facilitator. I really like that. Another guard coming off the board. Team Gray making double picks. Her and Kalani Brown. Okay. I was like, why is Kalani Brown on the board? She's on a team. I think in so many of Team Sims games last week, Kalani Brown was the X factor of just her size, her rebounding. I don't think when there's a team that can run a big well, and we talked about this last week, but I still think it's true. I think it can just really throw off these defenses at AU. Really interested to see her paired with Alicia Gray as her captain. I'm excited about this.
Their personalities, I know we talk about basketball, but their personalities are going to be so great to see. I mean, they're both very, very big competitors, but they're both also very, very funny people. Like, if you really watch them during the game, they are hilarious. So I'm excited to see them be.
Me too. Okay, Maddie Segrist. I kind of like ended the weekend and was like, I could see the impacts that she has made. And I was like, let me like dig into the stats and see if I can put some things in perspective. So when I think about KB, stick with me here. When I think about KB, I think about KB as a scorer above all else. This KB and Maddie put up the same amount of points this week. And I wouldn't have necessarily made that connection for Maddie after week 1, but she was a go-to on her team. And she leads the league in rebounds with 29 overall, 20 defensive rebounds. This was a big pick, I think, in this round for Tiffany Mitchell to get Maddie Segrist. She will, I think, be a big factor for this team.
Yeah, and I said it last week. She is a silent assassin. We don't normally like pick up on what Maddie does because she's not like that loud, flashy player that is not a highlight. Like, she does what she needs to do, and she does it well. So I knew it. Maddie's silent assassin. So that doesn't surprise me that she had the points that she needed, or the same as KB. So that, I agree. That's a good pick for Tiffany for sure.
Yeah, I like this fourth round has been strong. Seems like everybody's starting to maybe establish some rebounders. Kalani, Maddie, Ty Young. Ty Young made impact every time she came in, especially with the board. I feel like it was just immediately she was crashing. She was making impact in that way for her team. And then rounding out this fourth round, Taya Cooper. Man. Okay. Is Taya Cooper left or right-handed?
Okay, we don't know.
Because she drives with both all the time. All weekend, I was like, I can't figure out what her dominant hand is. I was like, I need to go look it up and find it. She will get to the bucket now. I loved how aggressive she was on offense.
She put it on the floor every time. Her body, her mind, her soul was on the floor. Like, every single time. She did her thing.
Okay, I'm going to hop back to a question really quick. So you guys see the asterisk by Ray Burrell's name. That's because she's currently inactive. So that's her status today. But that doesn't make her ineligible for the draft. So obviously it's Monday. Between Monday and Thursday, things could change. But as of right now, she's inactive. So that's why she has that asterisk. But she's still being drafted to a team. Okay, Team Sims with the double picks. Ruthie Hebert. I'm ready to see more from Ruthie in week 2. Not that I didn't think she had a great week 1.
Right.
I just think that we could see her be in a system and with other players where she starts to really get to kind of shine. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree because she when she started playing her game, same thing yesterday. I was like, oh snap, Ruthie! Like Ruthie can be here. We just need her to be in a
Mhm.
system where she can be her.
Totally. I think that has a big impact on the type of week that a player has is like,
Mhm.
who is their captain? Like, what type of offense do they like to run? We talked about the teams that like to get after it in transition, the ones who like to run more half court sets.
Yeah.
This is kind of a look at who's left. I'm seeing you guys in the comments asking about Kelsey, asking about Izzy. So you can see Izzy still has the asterisk.
Yep.
That means that she's inactive as of today. So we're kind of waiting to see things play out with these next couple picks.
I am surprised Kelsey hasn't been picked up. When I talked to the players, I was asking, and they did that video of who would you want to do the last shot, and a lot of the answers were Kelsey Mitchell.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised she's still on there. I think she played well. I mean, it wasn't. There was like flashes of where she was that player on the team, and then flashes of her doing what she thought she needed to do to make her team win. But I'm a little shocked.
So I think we've talked about the asterisks, but when
Mhm.
you look at that draft board, that P by Kelsey Mitchell's name, she's not injured. She's fine. That just means that there's going to be certain games this week that she's not available to. So players at AU can have excused absences, have things they have to leave for. If you remember back in season 1, Kelsey Mitchell had commitments with Team USA, so she missed some games. We can check on which games exactly she won't be available for, but that's why her draft stock is low right now, is because, I think a week looks very different when you have Kelsey Mitchell all 3 games.
Right.
She's shoes that are very hard to fill.
Mhm.
So that might be why these captains are trying to establish their starters and offense that they can build with,
Right.
because she is going to miss a couple games.
Gotcha.
All right, let's talk through this 5th round. Bashara Graves, Angel McCautry, Haley Jones. Let's start with Bashara. What you thought about her in week 1, Janae?
I think from a defensive standpoint, she did her thing. I didn't see a lot of offensively, like what she brings to the table. Not saying that she's not a great offensive player. She just didn't show it yet. And Team Sims, when it was last week, they had that first 5 that were like on it. So she didn't really need to show that.
Totally.
I think she played her role well, which is why she's been drafted in the 5th round. But I'm ready to see more from her for sure.
Definitely. I think this round can kind of be defined as some players who step in and make an impact when they're subbed in, when they're coming in and taking on that role. Angel McCautry, I thought last night, was somebody who lit it up in that first half of just. Sure. She didn't miss a shot. She was 5 for 5.
Yep.
And so it's like when you need somebody that you can sub in, that you're not going to lose your energy, you're not going to lose your scores. I think Angel is a super strong pick for Tiffany Mitchell there. And then so is Haley Jones. But after this week, the question I asked myself is, where does Haley Jones fit into this league and on what kind of team?
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback off a tweet I saw from Dolores. That I think he explained Haley Jones so well is that she's like so good at everything that it's hard to define like what that thing that she does is, so I think AU is going to help her establish like, okay, this is my game and this is what I'm good at. And then this is what I bring to the table. So, I mean, Haley Jones is a jack of all trades. She can do it all. And I think that's hard for a basketball player when you don't know when to do what all the time because you have it in your bag and you want to be that point guard that gets them the ball, but you want to be that scorer that you can be too. So I think Haley's in that state where she's like, okay, what type of basketball player do I need to be at AU to be successful?
So I actually kind of love that for her because you can step into AU and be in a setting to where like you aren't a part of an organization. There isn't a head coach telling you, I need you to do this, this, and this for me when I put you in. I'm really excited for her now that you said that. That's such great perspective talking about Haley Jones of like, who did Haley Jones look like in week 1 and who is Haley Jones going to look like in week 4?
Yeah.
And is she going to start to be able to define that for herself? I love that. So update on Kelsey Mitchell. So she is not available on Saturday and Sunday. So that's exactly why we haven't seen her picked yet. She's only going to be available on Thursday. Granted, what other team ends up picking up Kelsey Mitchell and having her for one game, I think is going to make a huge impact.
For sure.
But it will be tough for those final 2 games of the weekend to not have her, and that's why we haven't seen her drafted yet. All right, 6th round. Starting things off. Oh, let's take a look at who's left. Then we'll talk about those rounds. So you see some guards left. We talked a lot about Kelsey Mitchell. Saw some impact from Sam McGuire a couple times when she was subbed in. Just like, there were moments where I was like, wow, like Sam is earning those minutes right now. I think she is such a great teammate, such a great person to have in practice to be able to pick your team up. Seeing a lot of forwards left. You see that P by Teresa Plaisant's name. That also means there's going to be games she's not available for.
I think this whole week she's not available, actually.
Oh,
yeah, this whole week she's not available.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And that's going to be tough for a team that maybe doesn't get to balance out their size if they don't establish it. Then you see the centers left, 2 guard forwards, and then 1 point left in Taj Cole.
Let's talk about Sequoia real quick because, whoa, her shooting. Yeah. Like, okay, so the saying usually goes like hand down, man down, right? Like Sequoia is more like hand up, still going in the cup. Like it is, she's amazing. Like her shooting ability, like she brings an offensive threat that is so vital in AU. She blew me this week. I liked her a lot.
I did too. I think when we're thinking about the drafts of like what type of impact are you getting versus the round, Sequoia in the 6th round, huge get. Yeah. Huge get for Team Gray. Coming after her, Team Mitchell drafting Lauren Mincy, Team Cloud with Destiny Walker, and Team Sims with Essence Carson. Definitely where these players, and we talked about this last week, are really starting to establish what's the identity of this team. Who do I want to be able to come in and make impacts a lot of times off the bench, because I do think they're starting to establish their starting 5. Obviously it changes. And then rolling into the 7th with Danny McRae and Akilah Mays.
I liked Akilah. Yeah, she was really, really great on defense. She had huge blocks yesterday where I was like, oh my gosh, highlight reel, run that back. It was good. I liked her a lot. I'm surprised Dory is still not drafted because her rebounding ability, offensive rebounding ability was insane.
Leads the league in the category, 10 offensive boards. And here's the thing about Dory. Those offensive boards came in with some limited minutes. Like, I think if you break it down, she's averaging like a rebound every 2 minutes she's in a game. That's huge. And seeing kind of that impact that she would make, especially late in the game, like 3rd, 4th quarter, just being able to hold possession for her team, that was big.
Vital. Oh, there she goes. Okay. Tiffany heard me now.
We'll talk about them and then they'll get drafted.
Right.
Okay. Seeing a question coming in. Can't wait to see what Dory can do on the floor. Agreed. Imagine she and Izzy must have played together growing up. Definitely. Would love for y'all to ask her that next time around. Okay, want to hear the stories. We can get on that. We'll get on it. Okay. I like that.
They should check out, too, Ari Chambers just put up a TikTok, a Get Ready With Me with Dory.
That was cool.
And it's a really good insight to who Dory is as a person off the basketball court. So everybody should check that out. It's a really, really good piece.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the role she takes on in Team Mitchell. And then, like you guys said, getting to know her off the court, too. Looking at these teams so far, I know we've got some picks to come. I think after week 1, the theme that I saw that was super important was just, how do your guards that you've drafted flow together? Who's going to run the point, and can you set your wings up to be successful?
Right.
It's really strange now thinking about Tiffany, Tosh, and Leash splitting up and having to reestablish, exactly what that's going to look like for teams. So I saw this question in the chat about the fantasy. So I want to plug you guys to that, especially if you enjoy talking about the players, you have your favorites, you want to see how they do on the leaderboard. So if you sign up to be an unlimited club member, it's free. It is free. You can vote on game MVPs. We talk about that category a lot and how it impacts moving up the leaderboard. You can connect with fellow fans, and then you can join the fantasy league. So that's you being able to make your own picks of who you think will move up the leaderboard and earn points, and then you can earn prizes by doing that. So shameless plug to do that as we start to close out this draft. You guys can, almost in a way, draft your own squads. Here's a look at who's left on the board.
Rebecca Harris, Kayla Robinson, people with size. Like I'm surprised.
Yeah, that shocks me too, especially that it could be a huge factor in some games. But I do think all 4 of these captains like to run. So maybe that's a little bit of it.
Right.
Okay. So we've seen some comments about why the draft is different this year. And we wanted to explain, especially because I just saw this comment from Hayden. Are we going to go back to the captain draft room any? So being a captain is an extremely stressful experience for a lot of these players. And when we would broadcast the drafts at AU, that was a huge thing on them, like getting camera ready, going to the studio, sitting down and making their picks while it's being hosted.
Right.
It was a lot. It was just another thing that kind of added to their week. So something that AU wanted to do was try and simplify a little bit of that experience for the captains, but still be able to talk about the draft and have a space to discuss it. So that's why Janae and I are here and why we switched some things up this year. We're always learning, trying new things. But I appreciate y'all's comments of just, what you like and getting to talk about these teams with y'all.
For sure. Number 30 pick, we got Taj Cole for Team Mitchell. She has a lot of point guards. You got Sydney, you have Grace, you have Taj. So that'll be interesting to see how she uses them.
Yeah. Tiff said, I am not running the point this week. I am not running the point. Which, you know what? She shouldn't. Being one of the best scorers in the league after week 1, she has no business.
Right, for
Let
sure.
her up to shoot. Okay, there's Izzy coming off the board. She has that asterisk. She's still inactive as of right now. I'm hoping that we see her debut this week. She's missed. I felt like her presence on one of these teams, not having it was really felt.
Yeah.
Really felt.
Team whole for sure. I think just even that leadership that she brings, that her level-headedness, I think it would have been vital for them to have her, but hopefully soon we'll see her.
Yeah. All right, there's Kelsey Mitchell off the board. So Team Sims will have Kelsey on Thursday night for their game, but they won't have her for Saturday, Sunday. That's why she was drafted so late. But, man, Thursday, the defense is better come ready for this team. Odyssey, KB, Zaya, LA, Dana. Throwing Kelsey in that mix. Oh, my gosh. I would not want to be the team that plays purple with Kelsey.
No, Odyssey's so smart at drafting. Like, she's just so – I don't know if she's like 2 steps ahead of everyone at all times, but it seems like it with her draft. Like, she just knows exactly who to go for, when to go for them. Yeah. She's smart.
I talked about that with her after coming into week 1 of just like – I told her I remember year 1, week 1, she was the first captain I had ever done a feature about in AU basketball. And I remember us sitting down and she was like, I'm overwhelmed. This is a lot, and then she wasn't super successful at it. Like, she struggled. And, going through year 1 to year 2, being a captain every week, we sat down at the end of last season. She was like, I got this. Like, this does not stress me out anymore. One thing about Team Sims too is she will establish her practices and then they will recoup instead of running.
Yep.
Which is really interesting because for Odyssey, like, more practice, more court time does not necessarily always equate to more success.
Right.
She really values her players, like having shoot around time, having time in the training room. And it worked for her last season, man. And we're seeing her again, just put together these picks and teams where you're just like, man, like, I see what she's doing. She knows what she likes to play with, who she can set up to succeed. Agreed. The comment, Team Sims, aka the Buckettes. The Buckettes is so cute. I love that.
That's dope. That's good.
Oh my gosh, that is great. Yeah.
I like that. So rounding out the rest of the draft, we have Team Cloud selecting Mimi Jackson, Team Mitchell with Whitney Knight, and then Team Gray, they have TP, but she will not be playing this week.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about these teams. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments too. If there's teams you like, teams you think, some strengths, weaknesses. Let's start with Team Gray. We can kind of go through some of the picks. Obviously, the captain in leash, Emily Inkster being that number one pick. Ray Hearn, Kalani Brown, Haley Jones, Sequoia Holmes, Sam McGuire, Kalia Robinson, and Teresa Plaisance. First thoughts.
I think the first word that came to mind was balance. I think they have a really good balance of guards, of forwards, a center. I think it's good. I think Leash is once again smart at what she's doing in drafting. But yeah, balance is the word that comes to mind with them.
My one concern for this team is that last week, Leash was in situations where when she wanted to pop off, she could. If she had people she could really rely on to carry the scoring, especially Tiffany Mitchell.
Right.
There were games where they had 6 players in double digits. This week, I think she's going to have to take on a bigger role in that way and carry a lot of the load, especially at orange, blue, and purple, where, as we said, some of these teams are the Buckettes. I'm obsessed with that. I'm going to be saying that all week. I think that's my one concern about Team Gray. But aside from that, I do think she established a really balanced squad. All right, Team Mitchell. I would use maybe some similar ways to describe that. This team is smart. Having this many point guards on a team is crazy.
I know. Yeah. But Tiffany, like we said, does not want to run the point and shouldn't have to. She's a bucket getter, and she has drafted people that will get her the ball in the spots that she needs them. So, and Tiana, she brings a good size inside and out. Like I said, she has that 3-point shot, can get it done at the rim too. So I think it's smart. And Maddie brings scoring as well. Like you said, she tied KB in points. So, I'm liking Team Tiffany. I like it.
I like her squad too. At the beginning I was like, okay, with Sid as her first pick, what is she building around Sid is the question that I asked myself. And now that I'm looking at that, she's looking for people that Sid can facilitate too.
Sure.
Grace averaged 10 points per game in week 1, which I think she did quietly. We talked about how Maddie is the quiet assassin. Like, I'm looking at this team and they will not be out rebounded.
Right.
In any circumstance.
For sure.
I think this is a strong group. Then we have Team Cloud. I like this group.
Yeah.
I like this team a lot.
Yep. Great scoring, great defense. Really, really want to see Lexi Brown pop off for a game. I think she's due to just shoot the lights out in the gym. And I think this week might be it with the people that she has around her. I'm excited to see what she does.
Yeah, having both Lexis, crazy. I think this, like you said, this could be Lexi Brown's week, really. That we see her put up a big stat point week. I want to go through some of these comments about these teams. Game of the week, we've talked about them both. Gray versus Cloud, interesting. I like that. I think that's going to be another strong matchup. Let's see. Mr. Coach's reactions. Team Cloud for the win. Team Sims. Team Sims is scoring 120 on Thursday night. Miles. No, they might. They really might. Sims being guard and wing heavy, major transition team. Yes. Huge. Good take. Who was that from? Tyler. I love that. This is a transition team.
Yep.
Odyssey loves to run that too. She is not going to wait for you. Darius, love Team Cloud. GM Leash did it again. No, I really think she did. Gray and gold. With the gray and gold, only right. Love that. Let's see. Team Sims, Team Cloud. Team Cloud, and if Izzy comes back, major impact.
For sure.
Good take.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. Tough to score on Team Cloud. Love that. Yeah.
I think this week, like, last week we were looking at the teams like, okay, like what's gonna do? Like who's gonna do what? Like I think some of us were a little confused of like the choices.
Yeah.
But this week I am like, oh snap, who's gonna win? Like this, like I don't have a clear cut. Okay, this is a team to beat this week. Like
Agreed.
no clue.
Yeah, I think, and I didn't want to jump the gun last week. And so when we were kind of talking about, we were like, oh man, Team Gray's like,
Yeah.
and they were like, man, Team Sims has some shooters. And then that's what we saw. Like, that is what happened. So, like, props to us, because sometimes I get it so wrong.
Right.
But, you know, this week, I'm like, this could be anybody's game. And I kind of had a wish after last night. I was like, you know, I hope that we don't come out of week 2 and have a 3-0 team. I want people fighting for the fighting for the game win.
Right. Earrings off, gloves off. Let's get it.
The girls are fighting. Yeah, that's what I'm really excited about this week. I love having 4 super balanced teams. That's my favorite thing about AU is that when the drafts go well, like there are no super teams.
Right.
Was Team Gray fun? Yes. But I want to see what happens next when they're split up. So I have loved these picks this week and kind of seeing them come together. So that's a look at your 4 teams this week. We've got a little bit of time left. I would say there's one thing I saw commented that I'm going to shamelessly plug. So this week, Janae is joining the broadcast. And when you guys said, I want to know the stories, I want to know the inside scoop, Janae has got it. And
I got you guys.
If you want to hear that stuff on Thursday night, I'm going to hop on, do a little draft recap, kind of take an inside look into what happened at practice. You know, what were the captains thinking? Because these are just our guesses. We're going to bring you that. And then Janae is going to take over doing sideline, taking you into the game. So tune in, and she's going to have some good stories for you guys. I just know it.
It's going to be fun. If I just start randomly dancing, just get up and dance with me, guys. It's my coping mechanism.
No, it's going to be good. And I think as the season progresses, this is when we're really going to start to see these players establish their identities. What are they going after? What have they been working on in the off season? So week 2 is about to be a competitive one, and I'm super excited.
Super, super excited. Savannah, can you tell them who plays when? Like, who's our first games Thursday?
Yes. So we're taking off on Thursday night, and it's going to be 6 p.m. ET, 5 local, on the WNBA app. Both games, we're starting off with Team Cloud versus Team Mitchell. So it's funny, we talked about how, like, lethal Team Sims is going to be, and they're going to match up with Team Gray in the first. Yeah, that's going to be good. Both on the WNBA app. That's how you're going to be able to tune in. But thank you guys for watching today. We'll be back next week, and make sure you keep up on social and on broadcast as we try and take you into what it's like being at AU and what these athletes are thinking about and experiencing.
See you guys.
See ya.